Hi everyone, my name's Marcus Nichols and I had HSCT in Mexico 10 weeks ago. Um, for people who have been following my blogs, I skipped 9 weeks. I got to 2 months after, or 8 weeks after HSCT, and thought I'll push it out to every 2 weeks, only because I thought weekly was just boring for everyone. Because there were never a lot to say. It was just another week of more of the same. So I sort of thought I'll push it out to 2 weeks, and hopefully there might be a little bit more bits and pieces to say. So how has the last 2 weeks been? The have been not too bad. Probably the last 3 days, I've been more physically and mentally knocked around than I've been leading the sort of week and a half prior to that. I was doing a little bit better. I think probably I've got just a little minor dose of a flu, and it just seems to have knocked me around a little bit more. Today's been a pretty hard day. I've spent most of the day in bed. But up and functioning now and not feeling too bad, which is good. As far as all the bits and pieces, I think I've had only one headache during the last 2 weeks, which is really good. I've had one today, but it's been, for me, that's a really good thing, because I used to not go a week without a headache. So being able to go a couple of weeks without or if only having one headache, was a really good thing. As I said, physically been not too bad, mentally not too bad as well. So by the last few days, I've been sort of knocked around. Still obviously not doing very much at this point. I'm doing bits and pieces, but I'm really sort of restricted because every day is a different day. Upsides of how it's been. I've been on the treadmill most days, or probably on average, probably every 2 days. Not doing too bad there. Just sort of still walking away. Been trying to walk without hanging on, and that's been rather fun. Is probably the easiest way to put it. It would make a drunken sailor impressed with how wobbly I am on the treadmill. Put it this way, I hit the sides of it, the arms of it regularly. I'm trying to sort of stabilise myself and stop myself from falling off. But yeah, I sway a lot, so it's rather challenging exercise. But I want to try to walk without hanging on, because it does two things. One, it helps to strengthen my legs, and second is it also helps to try to get me to focus on my balance a lot more so. Yeah. So I've been doing a little bit of that, and it's going okay. We'll just leave it at that. But it's a slow process, and we'll keep working away at it. Outside of that, I've done for the last 2 weeks. I've done 6 days a week. I've done oxygen therapy, which I think I mentioned last time in my blog. I was looking at starting that. So I've done 6 treatments a week for the last 2 weeks, as I said. I haven't noticed anything in particular that has been of benefit from the treatment per se, but again, it's generally recommended you do somewhere between 20 to 80 what's the word for it? Word escapes me, but 20 to 80 sort of treatments, I guess you would say. And then sort of slow it down from there. So I'm sort of aiming to do somewhere around sort of 30 to 50. We'll sort of see how we go. I'm going to have some time off in between, because I've got a few things coming up where I can't make it. But we'll sort of see and see how it goes. The only things that I can think that may be a benefit is that I think it has helped a bit in my recovery after I've been on the walking machine, because I used to sort of get on the walking machine when I got home initially from Mexico, and I would push myself on that, and when I got off, I was pretty much sort of stuffed for quite a few hours. I now can, in the last 2 weeks, when I come off, I can actually still walk. I've got to hang on to things, obviously, without falling over. But I can actually still move my legs and still function to some degree. So Now, that could be the HSCT, it could be the oxygen therapy. That's the problem when you mix these things. You never know which is which. But certainly up until I started oxygen therapy last week, that wasn't the case. So I sort of am reasonably confident that it's helping. It's helping with the faster recovery after I've pushed my body. Which would be a good thing because, and hopefully it's doing more things internally, which is the whole idea of oxygen therapy, opposed to it just all being sort of, external as well. And hopefully helping my head reconnect all the neuro pathways and all those sort of silly things as well. But yeah, outside of that, that's been pretty much the last 2 weeks. Coming up this week, I'm off to get my rituximab infusion, whichever way you want to say it, on Thursday. So that will be good. That's my second one, first one since chemo. So we had one at the end of chemo, or once our stem cells have recovered, we had one. And then every 2 months we've got to have another one for a year. So basically 6 treatments in total. And so this will be the first one since Mexico. So yeah, we'll sort of see how we go. I did pretty well in Mexico with it. It didn't seem to knock me around, so I'm hoping that this one won't knock me around and I'll be all good at the end of it. So we'll see how we go. So that, guys, thank you for watching and listening, and I wish everyone well. And if anyone else is watching that is considering HSCT, which I've been speaking to a few people about. Actually, I'll talk about that on my next blog, actually, because I'll go into a bit more detail about my feelings and things like that. But for now, I wish everyone well, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.